Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us for this brief presentation about the Middlebury School in Uruguay. I first want to start off with talking a little bit about why you might want to choose the Middlebury Schools Abroad for your study abroad experience. The Middlebury Schools Abroad, in general, have a primary focus on linguistic and cultural immersion, and we promote this through several different means. First and foremost is something that we call the Middlebury Language Pledge, in which students promise to only speak the language of their host country during their time abroad. This way, we can ensure that students have the greatest opportunity to improve their language proficiency while they are abroad. Of course, if there's an emergency or when calling friends and family at home, you're welcome to speak in any language that you prefer. However, in class, with your friends on the program, and during social outings and activities, our expectation is that you will be speaking the language of the host country. In Uruguay, we also have students live with homestay families. This allows you to connect with local community members and get to know daily life in Uruguay by living and sharing meals and free time with your host family. Finally, we have local excursions throughout the semester, many of which will supplement language and culture courses that you'll be taking with the program. Another feature of the Middlebury Schools Abroad is something that we like to call guided independence. This idea is that apart from some foundational expectations, such as making sure that students stick to the language pledge, that they're attending classes regularly, and that they're good homestay guests, we want to make sure that students are able to make the program what is most meaningful for them. So whether that means using their free time to volunteer or intern at local organizations, taking extra art or dance classes, or having a chance to travel and take small trips around the country during the weekends, we have resources to support students in achieving these goals. Finally, we also offer a wide variety of academic options, including some specialized tracks, which we'll talk about in a moment. So, what makes the Middlebury School in Uruguay a particularly great choice? First and foremost, it's located in the capital city of Montevideo. Montevideo is a relatively small city with a little over 1 million people, and it provides a great balance by offering all of the amenities that a capital city has to offer, while also having a laid-back atmosphere and smaller community feel. Students often find that the pace of life in Montevideo is much calmer, more relaxed, and everybody seems to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, so it's much easier to transition into becoming a part of the community. Students looking for Spanish language immersion also find that Montevideo is a great place to achieve this, because unlike some of its neighbors in Argentina and Brazil, Montevideo and Uruguay in general doesn't receive as many international visitors. So you're less likely to encounter people who are speaking English or who would prefer to speak English rather than Spanish, which makes it much easier to stick to the language pledge. It's also a relatively small program. Our average size per semester is about 5 to 10 students, which creates a nice, tight-knit Middlebury community in Montevideo as well. We have a full-time assistant director on site and a full-time director who travels back and forth between Argentina and Uruguay. Finally, as I mentioned previously, we also offer program-sponsored excursions and cultural activities throughout the semester, which enrich the experience and create opportunities for students to spend time together. The academic program in Montevideo is based on a direct enrollment model, which means that students will be choosing from one out of 3 host universities to attend. Students can choose from either the Universidad de la República, where we have agreements with the humanities, fine arts, social sciences, and psychology faculties, the Universidad Católica del Uruguay, or the Universidad Hort, which both have particular specialties. So depending on what students are interested in studying and what kind of university they'd like to attend, we can help them select from one of these 3 options. The program advisor is available to help students make this decision and figure out which university would be the best fit based on their interests and academic goals. If any questions come up, please feel free to reach out and the advisor will be happy to talk through the options a bit more. In general, students will take either 3 or 4 courses at their host university, depending on the school they're attending. They'll also take a half-credit writing and culture course with the Middlebury program. This course is designed to allow students to get together on a weekly basis to touch base and talk about their experiences while working on their academic writing in Spanish and exploring cultural topics of interest. Students also have the option to replace one of their university courses with a credit-bearing internship. It's important to note that not all universities and colleges in the US accept credit for internships. So if this is something that interests you, you'll want to make sure that you check with your study abroad office before committing to an internship to ensure that you'll be able to earn credit. Finally, as I mentioned previously, there's also the option to enroll in one of two specialized tracks if they're of interest to you. In, addi- in addition to our standard direct enrollment program, we offer two specialized academic tracks in Uruguay in architectural studies and the arts. The architectural studies track has students enrolling at the Universidad Ort, which has a strong architecture program. This program offers a wide variety of courses, anything from design to tech and in between. And students, along with taking courses at the university, will participate in credit-bearing internships, either at the Uruguayan Ministry of Education or with private architecture firms. The arts track has students enrolling in the Arts Facultad at the Universidad de la República, where they will be able to study video and studio and visual arts, music, and or dance. There will also be related activities such as specialized workshops offered throughout the semester. As with the architectural studies track, students in the arts track may also have the opportunity to participate in a credit-bearing internship. There are some additional features of the program that we would like to highlight as well. Firstly, for housing, as I mentioned before, all students will be staying with homestay families while in Montevideo. Students can select whether they'd like their family to provide them with 2 meals a day, which would be breakfast and dinner, 1 meal a day, which would be dinner only, or if they would prefer to cook for themselves. Lunch is always on the student's own since they're usually out and about during the day, and there are lots of great places to get an inexpensive meal around Montevideo. We do provide assistance with the housing placement. There will be a questionnaire during the pre-departure process in which students can indicate what type of family they'd be interested in living with and anything that they feel is important for us to know and to consider when placing them with a homestay family. We will then take all of the information provided in the questionnaire into considering which placement will be a best fit for a student based on the profile that they're looking for. As a way of helping students integrate into their host city and to start building community from the very beginning, each student attending the Middlebury School in Uruguay will select an extracurricular course, workshop, or activity to participate in with the assistance of the assistant director. Participation in this activity will be subsidized by the program for the first month, and students may elect to continue their participation beyond that at their own discretion. In recent years, students have done a variety of things, such as tango classes, candombe classes, painting, and joining a knitting group. You'll find that some of the host universities also offer a padrino or a buddy program as well, which pairs international students with local peers who are interested in meeting them and helping them acclimate to their new university and city. Our students are strongly encouraged to take advantage of this program if it's available to them. Every semester, the program offers one multi-day excursion to another point of interest in either Uruguay or Argentina so that students can get to know the region a bit better. There are also local activities and day trips in and around Montevideo during this semester, many of which are subsidized by the program, so they're either completely free or at a low cost to the students. Finally, to go along with the idea of guided independence, we strongly encourage students to take advantage of all the local opportunities available to them while they're in Montevideo, whether that's joining clubs and activities offered through the host university, interning or volunteering, taking arts classes in the greater community, or whatever is meaningful to them. We want to help support that. Our staff has a list of resources and contacts that they can share to help you get started on these extra activities and opportunities. When applying to the program in Uruguay, it's good to keep in mind the dates and the fees, since the academic calendar is a little different than the calendar that we have in the US. If you're interested in studying abroad in the fall semester, you will arrive in Uruguay in late July and stay until late December. If you're interested in studying abroad in the spring semester, you will arrive in Uruguay in late February and you'll stay until late July. The semester tuition, which includes health insurance, can be found on the dates and fees page of the school in Uruguay website. It's also good to note that while the fees can be expected to increase a bit from year to year, it's an overall different price structure than a semester at the Middlebury College campus in Vermont. Other costs, such as room and board, your flight, and personal expenses, are all considered out of pocket. This doesn't necessarily mean that your financial aid won't apply to them, but it does mean that you'll be responsible as the student to manage the payments as you go throughout the semester. So, for example, you'll be paying your homestay family once a month, you'll be buying your books as you need to, renewing your bus pass as needed, etc. If you are a Middlebury student, there is also a study abroad fee that will be applied to your bill per semester. If you're a visiting student from another college or university, it's likely that your school has a similar study abroad fee, so you'll want to check with your study abroad office about that. Again, for Middlebury students, any financial aid that you receive, whether it's federal or institutional, will travel with you to the school in Uruguay. While every student's situation is different, as a general rule of thumb, a student's family contribution will likely remain the same while they are abroad. For example, if a student has a family contribution of $5,000 per semester, they can expect to still need to contribute $5,000 while they are in Uruguay. However, because the billing structure for the school in Uruguay is different, the funds for that family contribution may need to go directly to the student rather than to Middlebury as it normally would. It is therefore extremely important that Middlebury students who receive any type of financial aid speak with the Student Financial Services Office prior to going abroad so that they understand how their aid will operate while they are abroad, and if there is a family contribution, that the student has a conversation with whomever helps them with that contribution so that they are aware that those funds may need to be given directly to the student for that semester. Likewise, if you will be a visiting student at the Middlebury School in Uruguay, we strongly encourage you to check with your Student Financial Services Office and your Study Abroad office in advance to determine if and how your financial aid could apply to this program. For the application process itself, Middlebury students must first submit an intent to study away form by November 1st of the year before they plan to go abroad. We then ask that everybody apply by February 1st of that same year before going, whether you want to go abroad for the fall, the spring, or the entire academic year. If you are a visiting student and you want to go to Uruguay in the fall semester, you'll need to apply by March 15th. And if you're a visiting student interested in going in the spring, you'll want to apply by October 1st. In general, we look for students who have a 2.67 or B- GPA overall, with a 3.0 or B average in their major-related courses and in their Spanish courses. Students need to have completed the equivalent of 5th semester Spanish, and the most important thing that we look for is that students will have completed at least one advanced level content course in Spanish, focusing on literature, history, film, etc., prior to going abroad. Students will need to get an approval form from their advisor. For Middlebury students, this means your major advisor, and for visiting students, this means your study abroad advisor, so somebody in the study abroad office at your home institution. Everybody also needs to submit a language assessment form filled out by a recent language professor. Finally, there is a $75 application fee for visiting students. If this application fee presents a financial challenge, there is a waiver form that you can fill out. Please contact the Middlebury International Programs Office for more information if you'd like to learn about this option. Finally, for more information about any aspect of the program, please feel free to reach out and contact us. You can find us online. We have our main website as well as our pre-immersion website that has a lot of information about the city of Montevideo itself, some suggestions for Uruguayan literature, films and music that you can look into, as well as videos from past program participants that talk about different aspects of the program. We also have Facebook and Instagram accounts. Feel free to follow us for the latest goings-on in the program. Be sure to talk to your study abroad advisor about your interest in Uruguay, making sure that it fits with your academic plan and any other details or logistics that you may need to keep in mind. You're also encouraged to reach out to program alumni to get the student perspective on the program and to make sure that this is going to be the right fit for you. We have a list of returnees that we are happy to share so that you can connect with recent program participants. We also have a list of returnees who have self-identified as members of different identity-based communities. So, if you're interested in learning about what it might be like to study in Montevideo as a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, as a member of certain religious or spiritual communities, or as a student of color, for example, please feel free to let us know, and we're happy to put you in touch with students who have volunteered to share their experiences with others. Finally, we're happy to chat more about the program at any point. Feel free to email us, call, or you can set up a time via our online calendar to talk via Zoom. Thank you so much for joining me for this brief presentation about the Middlebury School in Uruguay. We'll look forward to hearing from you soon.